Donald Trump's affinity for Vladimir Putin and his government has been a constant throughout his political career. Trump has repeatedly praised Putin, calling him a strong leader and, even on the eve of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a genius. This admiration for the autocratic leader has manifested in policy decisions that often align with Russian interests, raising concerns about Trump's true allegiances. One of the most glaring examples of Trump's pro-Russia stance is his rhetoric on Ukraine. Trump has consistently downplayed Russian aggression towards its neighbor, even echoing Russian propaganda that Ukraine is somehow responsible for the conflict. This type of language is music to the Kremlin's ears, providing legitimacy to their narrative and undermining international efforts to hold Russia accountable. Trump's actions have often mirrored his words. During his current term, he has infamously withheld military aid to Ukraine, a move widely seen as an attempt to pressure the country into digging up dirt on his political rivals. This action, which directly benefits Russia by weakening Ukraine's defenses, is a clear signal to Putin that Trump is willing to put his own interests above those of the United States. Even now, Trump continues to toe the Kremlin line. He has repeatedly called for the US to reduce its support for Ukraine, arguing that the money would be better spent elsewhere. This stance ignores the reality that US aid is crucial to helping Ukraine defend itself against Russian aggression. It also sends a dangerous message to Putin that he can act with impunity, knowing that the current US president is in his corner. Trump's disdain for the US intelligence community is well documented. He has repeatedly attacked intelligence agencies, calling them deep state operatives and accusing them of being part of a witch hunt against him. This rhetoric has had a corrosive effect on these institutions, eroding public trust and hindering their ability to function effectively. One of the most damaging aspects of Trump's assault on the intelligence community has been his dismissal of Russian interference in US elections. Despite overwhelming evidence from multiple intelligence agencies that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help Trump win, he has consistently refused to acknowledge the threat, even going so far as to publicly side with Putin over his own intelligence chiefs. This refusal to accept the reality of Russian interference has serious consequences for US national security. It sends a message to Moscow that they can meddle in US elections with impunity. This lack of accountability only emboldens Russia, encouraging them to continue their efforts to undermine US democracy. Furthermore, Trump's attacks on the intelligence community have made it more difficult for these agencies to recruit and retain talented individuals. The constant barrage of criticism and accusations has created a hostile work environment, leading many experienced professionals to leave government service. This brain drain has weakened the US's ability to counter Russian aggression, leaving the country more vulnerable to foreign interference. Throughout his presidency and continuing into his current term, Trump has demonstrated a clear pattern of filling key positions in his administration with individuals who are personally loyal to him, often at the expense of experience and competence. This is particularly evident in his appointments to national security positions, where he has installed a cast of characters with questionable qualifications and, in some cases, alarming ties to Russia. One such figure was Michael Flynn, Trump's first national security advisor. Flynn, who had a history of making pro-Russia statements, was forced to resign after just weeks on the job when it was revealed that he had lied about his contacts with Russian officials. This scandal set the tone for Trump's approach to national security, prioritizing loyalty over expertise and raising serious concerns about Russian influence within his administration. Another controversial figure was John Flynn, Michael Flynn's brother and a retired Army general. Despite having no intelligence experience, Trump reportedly considered appointing John Flynn to head the Defense Intelligence Agency. This move was met with widespread criticism, with many experts expressing alarm at the prospect of someone with such close ties to Russia overseeing a key intelligence agency. Then there is Kash Patel, a former aide to Devin Nunes, a Republican congressman known for his staunch defense of Trump during the Russia investigation. Patel, who had no prior experience in intelligence, was installed as the Chief of Staff to the Acting Director of National Intelligence. In this role, Patel reportedly seeks to downplay the threat of Russian interference in the 2020 election, further undermining efforts to protect US democracy from foreign meddling. The ongoing crisis in Ukraine provides a stark example of how President Trump's pro-Russia stance and his weakening of US institutions have emboldened Putin and undermined US interests. From his initial reluctance to provide military aid to Ukraine to his public undermining of NATO, President Trump's actions have consistently played into Putin's hands, creating a permissive environment for Russian aggression. President Trump's decision to withhold military aid to Ukraine in 2019, later at the heart of his first impeachment, was a pivotal moment in the lead-up to the current crisis. This aid, which had been approved by Congress, was crucial to helping Ukraine defend itself against Russian-backed separatists in the eastern part of the country. By delaying this aid, President Trump weakened Ukraine's defenses and sent a clear message to Putin that he would face no consequences for his actions. President Trump's public criticism of NATO, a cornerstone of US foreign policy since the end of World War II, has also been deeply damaging. President Trump has repeatedly questioned the value of the alliance, calling it obsolete and suggesting that the US should withdraw. This rhetoric has sown discord among NATO allies and emboldened Putin, who has long sought to weaken the transatlantic alliance. Furthermore, President Trump's personal affinity for Putin has raised serious concerns about his ability to act in the best interests of the United States when it comes to Russia. President Trump has repeatedly praised Putin, calling him a strong leader and even suggesting that he trusts Putin more than he trusts his own intelligence agencies. This level of admiration for an autocratic leader who has invaded a neighboring country and interfered in US elections is deeply troubling, and suggests that President Trump may be more interested in appeasing Putin than in standing up to him.
Thanks for watching, and please remember to like, subscribe and share this video to stay updated with the latest breaking news from DesBuzz24.